Okay, hi ladies, Jackie Sabrin here. I was having problems with my audio, so I'm starting the call over. I hope some of you make it onto the call. I was wanting to do Q&A and talk to you about getting out of your own way. And so some of this might be redundant for those of you who were on the call earlier. But getting out of your own way is really about stepping out of your comfort zones. And your comfort zones are the habits that behavioral habits that you've created over time that have caused you to feel safe. It's a place where you aren't taking risks. Hi, Lynn, welcome. So I'm talking about getting out of your own way and getting out of your comfort zones. And so basically our comfort zone is our current zone where we feel safe, where there's no risk involved. We're in our daily routines, our habits we formed over time, and they're great, right? But the only problem is that if you want to have something different in your life, like a man, you're going to have to step out of your current comfort zone. So I made this little chart to kind of explain this to you. So basically, you're here in your comfort zone. And some of the excuses you could use is being busy, or your what else do I have here? You're not really wanting to push your boundaries. And basically that's what I call the known zone. Hi Terry, thanks for coming back. And so the current zone that you're in is your comfort zone. This is where you are, but your man is over here in the unknown, in the discomfort. And so this is a more risky area, right? Because this is the no risk area. You already have your routines, you're going along your life, but you're not quite satisfied with the way things are going. And so you're needing to step out of your comfort zone. When you try to do that, you can go into overwhelm, because it requires you to take risks. And that can be overwhelming, especially when you haven't had a lot of success in dating and in your love life, because the known zone, what I'm talking about here, these are all the zones that of experiences that you've already experienced. And so your comfort zones are experiences that you've already experienced, and that's why it's comfortable, because you're familiar with them. The only problem with staying in the comfort zone is that you continue to unconsciously replicate the same situations over and over in an attempt to step out of your comfort zone, because sometimes you'll do things that are painful, or you'll attract the same type of men, which forces you to make changes to your behavior so that you can step into the unknown, which is where your man is. So the unknown is the larger zone where your man is. And when you get into that zone, what can happen is you can be inspired, you can feel more creative and be more productive. But how do you get from here to here? It's hard to do this backwards. Here to here. So here, I'm going to give you some tips. The first one that you can do is to look at your behavior and the routines that you have created right now. And I suggest you start with just making some simple changes to change those. For example, changing the drive to work, where you go in the morning, changing it up, go to a different place to get coffee, drive a different way, and go to lunch in a different place, or take something different to eat, sit with different people if you're at work. Start to do things completely different. And that is really an easy thing to do, actually. It's not that hard to decide, I'm going to go to a different Starbucks for my coffee, I'm going to eat at a different place for lunch, and I'm going to go out one night a week. But for some of you who aren't used to doing that, that can be quite a challenge. And so there's a benefit that happens when you don't make these changes to step out of your zone. And you're like, how can you benefit by staying in your comfort zone, Jackie? So I'm going to explain it. So you have to ask yourself, what is the benefit I'm experiencing by staying in this zone? Well, one benefit is you don't have to address why you're in that zone to begin with, and why you have a fear of stepping out of it. So there's a benefit to you that you're experiencing. You don't have to address why you're stuck. You can just ignore it. You can just avoid it. Avoidance is a coping mechanism, and it's created by your mind to help you cope. Avoiding is something where we go unconscious and we don't look at something. We know it's there, but we kind of ignore it. And we don't want to get intimate with it because we don't really see a solution, so we just avoid it. So that is definitely one way that most people cope. And it comes down to being intimate. It's an intimacy issue. It's because you don't have the skill set to come up and problem solve why you're not able to step out of that zone. or why you're having that problem. Say you're having a problem with attracting the right man. Maybe you're attracting narcissists, and maybe you're an overgiver. And so you don't know how to solve the problem of being an overgiver, so you choose to use the coping mechanism of avoidance. But that only can get you so far. So I'm not saying it's good or bad, wrong or right. The comfort zone and the discomfort zone, they're neither of them are wrong or right. It's just whether or not you would like to experience something different. So don't beat yourself up. If you want to have a different experience in life, you're going to have to take more risks, because that means you have to step out of your current comfort zone. So the benefit of doing that is there's so many benefits, so many more benefits that there are from staying in your current comfort zone. But you have to get out of your own way. So the benefits of doing that is you're going to accomplish something that you haven't accomplished that you've wanted to. And with that comes a higher self-esteem, a higher self-worth, because you now have a success under your belt. That's why changing a simple thing about your behavior, starting with your daily routine, is really the easiest way to start it. Not taking some big leap into trying to change something, then experiencing so much difficulty that you revert back to your old zone, or maybe it even shrinks a little bit. So you need to go from discomfort into comfort. So we're starting out in our current comfort zone. We're going to start out with comfort, and then you're going to go through a natural state of discomfort as you attempt to change your behavior, and then you're going to go into comfort again. Only your zone's going to be bigger. So it's only going to take you a short time to go from comfort to discomfort back to comfort again. Only your zone's grown. And so if you want to meet a man this year, you're going to have to look at what behaviors can you change. Not that any of your behaviors are bad, because you never want to beat yourself up. But what behaviors can I change that will change my zones? You have to take a couple more risks. So the risk that you can take is getting out in real life more and meeting men. So if you have a busy schedule, you have to set up something on your way home from work, perhaps. On the way home from work, you stop at a place where you can maybe have a cup of tea, a cup of coffee, a glass of wine, and wind down, then go home. That could be your weekly stepping out of your comfort zone. You can join a meetup. I was saying that on my call earlier. You join a meetup group where there's individuals, like-minded individuals, trying something new. It doesn't even have to be meeting up with men. It could be anything that gets you out of your comfort zone, so you can start to feel more comfortable with that discomfort. Because, like I said, very predictably, that discomfort's going to go away. You have grown and learned to feel more comfortable, and then you've opened up your life. You can meet somebody. You can meet women and men that can support you in that process. And so you have to go step in from your known zone to the unknown zone, because you're in the unknown. That's where your man is. Hi, Lynn. Hi, Terry. Hi, Lynette. Nice to see you. Ladies, if you have any questions, just please post them so I can answer them, because I'd love to do Q&A. And so I was talking about a woman who hasn't dated in years, and she's done a lot of trainings and workshops, and she still can't seem to push herself out of off her couch and out in real life. And so what I'm going to say to that is that when the pain of holding on to something becomes so great, you'll eventually push yourself out of that comfort zone. So usually pain is going to be the motivator. And I hate to have to see you learn through pain, but you're going to learn. Either way, you're going to learn through love or pain. And pain, like I said, is the great motivator in life. But I suggest you start to learn through love. That means you go willingly instead of waiting for a crisis to happen. Health crisis, financial crisis, or love crisis, where you're forced to take action. That's learning through pain. And there's an easier way to do it by just accepting the fact that you are not where you want to be in life. There's some behavior that's contributing to it, not judging yourself for it, and then making some changes that will put you in a different place in your life. So all you need is some perspective sometimes, and that's what those meetups. And I was also suggesting volunteering for different events in your community will put you into a different zone where you can have an opportunity to meet different people, and then you can be different in that place. So volunteering for musical events, trade shows, there's film festivals, there's even probably a historical society in your community. That's what I did. I volunteered to be a guide for the Historical Society in La Jolla, and I would take people on walking tours of La Jolla. And I learned a lot about the history of La Jolla and met a bunch of really interesting people. That's one thing that I did. Was it uncomfortable? Yes. One of those days that I had to work on Sunday, I had tried to highlight my hair myself, and I turned my hair orange. And I did not want to go to that job. I was a volunteer, so I wasn't getting paid, but I could not let those people down. So I called my friend up, and she said, put a hat on and get over there. And I thought, that's a great idea. So I put one of those cute little hats on, and I went and did it anyway. I'm so glad I did. But so yes, it's uncomfortable, but you have to, if you want to have a bigger life and you want to have a man in your life, you need to stretch yourself out of your current comfort zone. And so, so ladies, what is it that you can do right now that you want to stretch out of? I mean, what are your challenges that you're facing that you can use some support on, and that I can coach you in the moment right now? Just post a question here so I can answer it. And so stepping out of your comfort zone and grow your zones, it requires you taking risks. And taking risks is harder as we get older, because physically we want to be careful, because we have to modify a lot of the things that we do when we're getting older so that we can take those risks, but in small incremental steps so it doesn't affect our health. And the other risk that we have to take is more emotional risk, right? We have to be more courageous, and we have to become more intimate with ourselves about what has held us back. And usually you can do that by doing a really quick sentence completion. And a sentence completion, I'm going to teach you, is a tool that I use with my clients that I know that will help you. And so it starts with the word because, and you can turn it around. So you create a sentence stem using the word because, and then you reverse it. So you can just start with, and I'll just use this as an example, as I'll use myself as an example when I was stuck on my couch. So I'm on my couch because, so I didn't want to go out and meet men. I was sitting home alone, and so I want to run the sentence completion on myself to help me surface a deeper meaning behind why I was stuck on my couch. So I'm stuck on my couch because I don't want to go meet people. So I'm answering my own question. I'm stuck on my couch because I'm afraid that they won't accept me. I'm stuck on my couch because I don't know anybody. I'm stuck on my couch because I feel insecure about meeting new people. I'm stuck on my couch because I don't feel good enough. I'm stuck on my couch because, but you see, I just hit a deeper thing. And so now I'm going to reverse it. Because I don't feel good enough, I stay home. Because I don't feel good enough, I am not meeting quality men. Because I don't feel good enough, I am feeling a little depressed. Because I don't feel good enough, I am having 2 glasses of wine a night instead of 1. So do you see how now I can get to the truth of what's really going on and the consequences of continuing to sit on the couch? And so through doing that sentence completion, I just got really intimate with my problem. And now I need to come up with a solution, because if I don't, I'm going to continue on this path. It's very predictable that it's just going to be a cycle. I'm stuck in a pattern. Nothing's ever going to change because I'm not changing. But at least I know why I'm stuck on the couch, because I don't feel good enough. I'm feeling insecure about people seeing me. So that's an intimacy issue. I'm just struggling with being intimate, with moving to a new state, having to meet new people, and starting over basically. And so in order to address that, I did the things that I already shared with you. I stepped out of my comfort zone, took risks, signed up for meetups, started to volunteer, and I got out of my own way. And as soon as I did that, things started to snowball and things started to pick up. I started to meet people. I had girlfriends. I invited to a women's group for happy hour, and next thing you know, I was a part of my community. And so to little baby steps. So that took me about, I guess, a whole year to really make that full transition to feeling comfortable living in a new place, having new people, new places to go, and moving forward in my life. And then I went online and met my husband. So ladies, I hope this was helpful. You know, I know that I've talked about going into overwhelm. Let me just touch on that before I end the call. So going to overwhelm is just your mind's inability to see a solution. Overwhelm is a coping mechanism. When you try to step out of your comfort zone, your mind will shut you down and send you into overwhelm. And it's like, I have too much to do all of a sudden. I've got to get all this done. You can't think clearly, and so you can get nothing done. You can get scattered and confused. So you might be really confused, like you can't figure something out, or you might become scattered. Scattering is when you might be bumping into things. Maybe your shirt catches on the car, inside of the car, and you kind of pull out, or you're stuck in your seatbelt and you're getting really impatient. Tune into that, because that is a sign that there's something that's going on in the background that you're really not tuning into. It's causing this overwhelmed feeling that's having you shut down, but it's really an avoidance pattern that your mind is creating to keep you from addressing what it feels that it's going to hurt. So maybe you're not addressing the fact that the guy didn't call you back and how that felt to you. It was pretty disappointing. And so instead of looking at it and moving forward, you're stuck in that feeling of discouragement, which is causing you to bump into things and being short with people. So you want to look at our physical sensations that accompany this overwhelm. So just the mind's inability to see a solution. So the solution in that scenario would be to get into acceptance and just allow yourself to feel the discomfort of disappointment. Like, it is disappointing when somebody doesn't call you back. It's disappointing when things don't work out in life. It's a normal feeling to allow yourself to feel the feelings of disappointment. But when you don't allow yourself to feel them and then release them, what happens is you get stuck in that energy of discouragement, because the energy of discouragement is where you're thinking about the problem instead of just releasing the problem. So you're not really releasing it, you're just thinking about it. So you never really allowed yourself to feel to begin with. And that's what emotional blocks are. The emotional blocks are thoughts about feelings. They're not actual feelings, they're just thoughts about feelings. So you're just spending all this time thinking about why you're stuck, thinking about what you don't have. And the more you think about what you don't have, the more you bring about what you don't want, because it's the law of attraction. Likes attract like. So when you spend all this time thinking about what you don't want, or the disappointment about him not calling you back, you're actually recreating more of the same. So we've gone in a whole circle in this conversation, and so getting out of your comfort zone, taking baby steps to do that, changing up your routines, joining some kind of group, volunteering, small little steps that you can take to move yourself forward. Manageable pieces, one day at a time. And so let me answer this question. I can use some affirmations about how I get excited to try something new and then have similar experiences with how people react to an older woman, ignore people who are older but young at heart and tend to look through us. Yeah, okay, so I'm not sure if that's a question. Yes, I can see that. I live in a community actually where it's an older community. La Jolla is largely, I don't know, a retirement community. A lot of old people here, and people my age and older. And I see that. I see the women that are older than me and how that can happen. And but you can make yourself heard and seen by not accepting that as the status quo. And I like, Susie, that you say that you can use some affirmations. And so I would actually recommend you do start volunteering if you want to get involved and be seen and heard more, because I think it's a perfect time in your life to stay active. And if you're involved in a volunteer situation, you show up and there's no pressure really. And so that might be a good way for you to get out. I meant that younger people look through older people. Okay. Yeah, I guess that's probably true in a lot of ways. My children look through me, and that's a part of life. And so we have to accept that. It's just a part, I guess, when you were younger, you probably looked at older people and looked through them as well. And so don't focus on that. Don't worry about it. They have their own journey. That's their own dilemma. Sometimes, Jesus said, forgive them for they know not what they do. And I'm not going all religious on you, but what he meant, I feel that my perception of what he meant by that is that they're unconscious. I mean, when you're younger, you're really unconscious. You're just going through life bumbling along, thinking you know everything. And then, you get some wisdom and you recognize it. So, forgive them for they know not what they do. They'll be old someday and they'll be in the same place you are. And so just have compassion for how unconscious they are. And and so maybe surround yourself with people that that you feel comfortable with, and you know, forgive those younger people that aren't, you know, responding to you. And I'm sorry that you're dealing with that. I can see how that happens as we get older. I can see it happening here in La Jolla. And I guess it's just a part of life. I think that when we resist things in life, it causes us more suffering. Resistance causes suffering. The actual things don't cause suffering. It's our resistance to accepting what's going on. And that can create some blocks, like thinking that it should be different. Again, there's that word thinking that it should be different. Well, thinking that something should be different doesn't change anything. It just keeps you stuck in your thought patterns about it instead of just being with what is. So acceptance of what is brings you a lot of peace and clarity. And so, ladies, I know that some of you watching this have already signed up for my Bridge to Love program that starts in 2 weeks, and some of you I'm already working with. But for those of you who have not heard me talk about it, I am launching my 5-week accelerated course, Bridge to Love. It starts in 2 weeks. I'm launching it on Valentine's Day because I want to support you on probably the hardest day of the year when you're single. So we're going to have 5 live calls where I'm going to interact with you and really teach you how to be intimate, how to get over the resistance, how to overcome overwhelm, and to even know what that is, how to step out of your comfort zones, and teach you about your mindset. So it's a lot of information crunched down into a 5-week accelerated course, and with it, I'm giving you $2,000, over $2,000 of incredible bonuses, things that can help you right now step out of your comfort zone. As soon as you buy the program, you'll have access to all of those bonuses. Bonuses about teaching you to communicate with other people. I call it the gift of gab. Another one is working through your emotional triggers, which is a big reason why you don't step out of your comfort zone. Teaching you about intimacy and managing your mindset. So you can get all of those, and they all come with downloadable worksheets you can have right away. Everything's on audio, so you can listen to it while your hands are busy, driving in your car, doing your laundry. So and all of my training that I do, I like to apply concrete, practical steps that are usable. It's not just a bunch of more knowledge. You already have a lot of knowledge. This is concrete steps to help you to apply them right away, because intellectual knowledge is great, but it's useless unless you can apply it and take action. So that's what this program is all about. It's your Bridge to Love. So you can go to bridgetoloveclub.com right now. It's $97. I'm offering this at very special rate right now, because I want to reach as many women as I can with my teachings, because I know I've already helped so many women, and I want to give all the other women an opportunity to buy into this program at a very low price point, $97 for 5 weeks of coaching from me, and over $2,000 worth of bonuses and all these live coaching calls. So take advantage of this offer, Bridge to Love Club. Go there, sign up, and then I'll see you on the other side of that. You've used a couple bonuses already. Yay! I can't wait to work with you, Terry. And thank you. You're welcome, Susie, for the clarity. And Lynette, it was so nice to see you here. I'm just sending you lots and lots of love. I hope you're enjoying your guy. He's in a fabulous relationship right now. So the work does work, but you have to work it. You have to take action. And hi, Iris. So I'm just signing off. Ladies, have a wonderful evening, and I'll see you tomorrow. I'm going to be doing live Facebooks every day until my Bridge to Love program starts. So lots of love to you, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye. Post a topic that you want me to teach on. I'm happy to do that. All right. Bye-bye.